Once a notorious gang leader is now sleeping under dark dust. A night of brutal bloodshed. Prince Mongol Mahlang, born in a poor family in an unstable area called Pretoria. Driven by his hunger for wealth and comfort, Mongol chose a life of offense and crime. Each of his decisions took him one step closer to his success and even towards his death. This story is stuffed with wealth, betrayal, and violence. The calculated attack left him no room to escape and gave a lasting lesson about bad work leads to bad ending. Let's jump into the rise and fall to the great Mongol Mahlang. Who was Mongol Mahlang? Born in the rough streets of Johannesburg, Mongol had a tough childhood. By the time he was a teenager, he was already knee-deep in crime, running with dangerous gangs. He had one rule, just one: loyalty. If you weren't loyal to him, you were as good as dead. Over the years, his power grew, and soon, he wasn't just another thug, he was the boss. The underworld in South Africa had many players, but Mongol played the game differently. He made sure the cops either feared him or worked for him. Corruption was his best friend. His criminal rise started with small-time robberies and street-level drug deals, but his ruthlessness and strategic mind made him stand out. By his mid-20s, Mongol had formed one of the most feared syndicates in Johannesburg, dealing in narcotics, weapons, and illicit money laundering. His network extended beyond South Africa, linking up with international drug cartels. His power wasn't just about crime, he was known for his ability to manipulate both gang members and corrupt officials, ensuring his empire ran like a well-oiled machine. His rule of terror. Mongol didn't believe in second chances. You mess up once, you don't live to mess up twice. He ran his criminal organization like a military operation. Drug deals, human trafficking, extortion. He had his hands in everything. And if someone tried to take his place, well, let's just say those people didn't live long enough to try again. His enemies knew what he was capable of, but no one could touch him. Even the police couldn't stop him because he had informants everywhere. Every time they tried to take him down, the case fell apart. Witnesses vanished, and evidence mysteriously disappeared. It was like he was untouchable. But here's the thing about being on top: everyone wants to pull you down. And Mongol had a lot of enemies. He thought he was invincible. Spoiler alert, he wasn't. The beginning of the end. You know how they say, what goes around comes around? Well, Mongol's karma was coming, and it was coming fast. In 2022, something changed. The government was under massive pressure to take down major crime bosses, and guess who was on top of the list? That's right, Mongol Mahlang. This time, the authorities weren't playing games. They set up a special task force, and their one job: end Mongol's reign of terror. At the same time, his enemies were getting stronger. Rival gangs had enough of his control, and they were ready to fight back. Mongol thought he could handle it like he always did, with violence. But this time, he underestimated just how bad things had gotten. Key events leading to his downfall. High-profile assassination attempt. In June 2022, an assassination attempt on Mongol at a nightclub in Pretoria left his second-in-command dead. This event marked the beginning of his empire's rapid decline. Corruption exposed. A major corruption scandal rocked the police force, exposing several high-ranking officers who were on Mongol's payroll. This led to a crackdown on police corruption, making it harder for him to evade justice. The final showdown. Mongol's psychosis was at an all-time high. He knew the walls were closing in. The police were getting closer, and his own men were starting to turn on him. He decided to do what he did best: strike first. One night, Mongol planned a hit on a rival gang leader. He thought it would be just another execution, but he walked straight into a trap. The rivals were waiting, and they were armed to the teeth. What followed was a bloodbath. Mongol's men were outnumbered, and the streets turned into a war zone. Bullets flew in every direction, and in the chaos, Mongol got hit. He tried to escape, but this time, luck wasn't on his side. The police, who had been tracking him for months, finally caught up. They cornered him in a rundown warehouse. He was bleeding out, but he still fought till his last breath. When the dust settled, Mongol Mahlang was dead. The man who once ruled with fear was taken down in the same brutal way he built his empire, with violence. This is what the gangs have spread. The fictional story, but the true is literally very different. According to a leaked case report, the incident happened at the corner of Kirkness and Bond Street, Clydesdale, Sunnyside, on September 4, 22 at 0:40. Mahlang was shot multiple times in the chest and upper body. He was driving a Golf 8 at the exit of Trademark's parking area in Kirkness Street and corner Bond Street in Clydesdale. The suspect confronted the victim and, after speaking, shot him several times and left in a white VW Polo registration, no unknown. The victim's wife was in the vehicle, but uninjured. The victim passed away on his way to Medforum Hospital. This alleged carjacking and heist kingpin dies at the age of 43. Report from the SouthAfrican.com, his luxury lifestyle. Despite coming from a rough background, Mongol had a taste for the finer things in life. His wardrobe was filled with expensive designer brands, and his fleet of luxury cars, including BMWs and Mercedes, showed off his wealth. Gold chains, custom suits, and diamond-studded watches were his signature. He partied in the most exclusive clubs, throwing cash around like it was nothing. But in the end, no amount of wealth could protect him from the fate that awaited him. Aftermath. With Mongol gone, the underworld went into complete chaos. His empire collapsed within weeks. His closest allies either got arrested or killed. The police celebrated his downfall as a major victory, and the streets, for the first time in years, felt a little safer. But here's the thing, guys like Mongol don't just disappear without leaving a legacy of destruction. His criminal network may have collapsed, but the damage he did, that's gonna take years to fix. And who knows, maybe another Mongol is already rising in the shadows, waiting to take his place. The harsh lesson. Mongol Mahlang's downfall is a harsh reminder that no matter how powerful you think you are, bad actions will always catch up to you. He built his empire on crime, fear, and bloodshed, thinking he could escape the consequences. But in the end, the same violence he spread came back to claim him. Life may seem unfair at times, but one thing is certain: bad choices will always lead to bad results. If you choose a path of destruction, don't be surprised when destruction finds its way back to you. Mahlang thought he was untouchable. He ruled through fear and violence. But in the end, he met the same fate as the people he destroyed. His story is a brutal reminder that no matter how powerful you think you are, the streets always get the last word. So what do you think? Was Mongol's downfall inevitable? Or could he have escaped his kismet? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insane stories. Catch you in the next one!